we will close out today's episode with, I mean, it makes sense that we will do...
Oh, episode 3. What do you know?
Issue 3.
Huh.
And that is where we'll close it. And then next week, we will wrap up this series.
Love those Gorillas.
They have a really cool tag team name, too.
Okay.
So
Gorillas?
No.
Oh.
I'll tell you right now. They're Orangabang.
Oh. There's a good band out there called Gorillas.
Oh, I like that.
They dress up in these monkey suits.
And they gorilla stuff?
Literally in gorilla suits, and they just play surf music the whole time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
These are actual orangutans, though.
Oh.
We open...
Right turn, Clyde.
Yeah, we open this issue with Cobra's son going to, or Lona's dad now, going to the bar to meet his brother-in-law, which was Uncle Blood there.
Yeah. So does Uncle Blood know?
He knows. Like, that's the thing.
I would think he would have to.
We get
right?
the explanation a little bit, and he's like, I can't believe, look, I don't have the whole conversation here, but Cobra's son sits down and is like, I can't believe you told her that I made you promise not to teach her. And he's like, she has a right to know that. Like,
yeah.
I can't keep lying to her about like, oh, I don't have any more matches, or
Well, she's what, like 18, 19?
Yeah, at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And he goes, yeah. He's like, but she doesn't need to do this. And he's like, I don't think you understand. Like, she has just as much talent as her mother. Like, she's just as good. It's like you're the one just kind of holding her back there.
Yeah.
And I never understood or why like you let this go to where it was. And he was telling her like when she was so young, like I felt weird like telling her like, hey, your mom's out there, this big hero. I'm the one that has to go out there and like put her down, and I'm the asshole. I'm the guy who needs to go out there. He's like, it was a weird dynamic that we didn't want her to put through. So I just kind of stayed behind the mask. And when she was old enough, we were going to tell her then, like, hey.
Well, and then time just gets away from you.
Exactly.
Kind of thing, yeah.
Well, and then after, it was like, I don't know how to tell her, like, after.
Yeah.
Like, so we never did. And he's like, we were going to tell her until, and then Blood looks over at him and he goes, until you killed my sister.
Jesus.
So, like, they both kind of, like, yeah. And he's like, and I've barely been able to look Lona in the eyes ever since. Like, he is obviously, like, torn up a lot about this. And he's like, so then how much worse could come? Because he tells him, like, Blood asks him, like, how much worse could coming clean now be? And he goes, Blood, what if I could bring Ewa back? And Blood kind of looks at him. He's like, now you're just talking crazy. How many light tubes have you been taking to the head? And he just tells him, like, I'm going somewhere. And when I get, you know what, I'll see you. And so they leave. And the two of them head to that dojo where the necromancer, I don't know why I can't remember his name. I should look that up real quick.
The necromancer.
The necromancer does have a name.
Jeff.
I remembered his assistant's name. So his name is, I don't know why it doesn't say. He has to have a name.
Captain Creepo.
Anyway, Captain Creepo. So they show back up in the dojo where the necromancer told them to be.
Yeah.
And while they're there, they get transported to that world again, right?
Yeah. Like that.
So you get the DLPW, which is the wrestling tournament, and welcome to the Death Life tournament down there, and they got to kind of sign in. Yeah, that's how you know it's cool. So that's just a joke I've always made with that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, you put a Z on the end of anything, and it's street smart.
But it's very fitting for this. No, it's streets ahead, Mike.
Oh, okay.
It's verbal wildfire. So
verbal wildfire.
While they're there,
what is that? What's that from?
Community.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, people.
No, it's
I'll
fine.
let you down.
And if you don't get that, your street's behind. So they have to go up and they have to sign up for some of the comedy comes out in this issue.
I don't like his pants.
Well, they match what he's doing though.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like they match his mask.
Yeah.
So they have to sign in, and he's like, "All right, check in." And he's like, "Oh, I recognize your name. I'm Lona." And he's like, "No. What's your tag team name? Like, I need your name." And they're like, "Oh, we don't have one." And he goes, "All right, let's see. Lona Still Rose and Cobra Sun. What about Sun and Still?"
There you
go. They're like, "Okay, yeah, that'll work." And he's like, "Cool. Here's your keys for your lodging. Your first match is tomorrow at 11. Be ready at the entrance gate by 10:30. And they ask who they're facing, and that's where he tells them, like, okay, you're going to take on Orangabang. And they're like, Orangabang? But Cobra Sun is just like, all right, next question, where's the bar at? And so
what?
I got ahead of myself.
Okay, you got ahead of yourself
and
there.
So he tells them where the bar's at. So they go to this bar, and she's like, isn't this a little bit too early for you to be doing this? And he's like, I'm going to have to be doing all this. Like, I just need like one drink, and then we'll get back to everything.
Sure.
Like, let me Like, I got a lot to do here. I'm carrying you. Like, so while they're there, there's this little dog that runs around the bar. And it's like the bartender's like dog. And it ends up urinating on one of the tag teams that are there that are called, I think their name is called F Your Stupid Opinions. So they go by FISO is this tag team's name. And they're very loud and they're very like, oh, we must kill the puppy for him disrespecting us like this, like all that. And so that's where he yells out as he's about to puppy punch. He's like, there must be punishment. And he goes to punch the puppy. And but that causes Lona obviously to be like, who the hell punches puppies?
It's like a little white golden retriever puppy.
It is. It's a cute little puppy.
Yeah.
And Lona just like breaks this up and like kicks the dude in the face. And she's like, who the hell punches puppies? And then his tag team partner's like, stay out of it. And so there's a bar fight now between Cobra Sun, Lona Still Rose, and this FISO team. And so no one questions FISO. And he's like, wait a minute. I know you. You look familiar. You're Cobra Sun, right? And they're like, yeah, we've seen you on Earth.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, we're getting to that.
That's
He's like,
big old monkey.
He's like, oh, we've seen you on Earth. And he sits there and he cracks his glass by the handle and he's still holding the sharp edges, like, around
classic
the handle.
Bar fight thing,
and he holds it up to Lona's face and he goes, they say wrestling's fake on Earth. Let's go ahead and see if that's real then, huh? And so, like, she's sitting there, like, kind of nervous and, like, Cobra Sun's about to, like, try to stop what's going on when Orangabang shows up and is like, please leave. And as you can see, they're very enforcing. Like, they're massive and big. And so the two of them are like, come on, let's get out of here. And they're like, this ain't over. So they leave, and the teams kind of introduce each other to themselves. And they're like, are you all right? And he's like, we just want to make sure you're okay. Like, we want our opponents to obviously, like, be in the best condition they can be. We're sorry you had to deal with that. Like,
right, sure.
My name is Nexel, is what the big orangutan says. And he goes, and this is my brother Petey. And we go by the name Orangabang. And Cobra Sun's like, yeah, that makes sense. And he's like, you guys must be Sun and Still, our opponents tomorrow. You should be in the best conditions. We wish for a completely fair fight. Like, they're, a well-intentioned duo.
Sure, yeah.
And so one of the main guy, Nexel, goes, so is it true what FISO said? And Lona goes, what? And Nexel goes, that your wrestling on Earth is just for show. And Cobra Sun, not knowing how to answer it, goes, well, doesn't pro wrestling work the same everywhere? And there's a smile on Nexel's face, and he goes, of course. We knew they must be lying. And so they turn around and leave. And so they're getting ready to leave. And they go, before we do, like, we wanted to let you know that many years ago, our sister was taken from us, and that's who we're fighting for. So just know we won't hold back.
Okay.
Like, they show the picture there.
Yeah, so that begs the question, does everybody here have
Everybody has somebody that they're fighting for.
Everybody has something at stake here in the same vein.
Yes.
Because they get to bring somebody back. So, okay, never mind. Answer my own question, yeah.
So we get the tournament page there of who Sun and Still takes on Orangabang. There's and they all have, like, finishing moves and where they're from. There's another Earth team called Pro Pack. But then there is
Pizza Party.
Yeah, there's a team called Pizza Party. There's a team called Your Mom's Basement. But we get to see that it is a 8-team tournament for this then, and it's all single elimination. Okay? So one loss, you're out.
Yeah.
We get the match starting between Cobra Sun and Lona.
They win.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have to, but
I'm just saying.
But Cobra Sun does get the mess beat out of him for a good bit. He does. Like, Lona's trying to get tagged in, and they're just beating the mess out of. Oh, okay, that's before that. I had to figure out where it was. Yeah. Cobra Sun. They even end up hitting their special move, which, by the way, their finishing move is called Attenborough's Cradle, which I thought was kind of.
Oh, yeah.
And so they hit it on Cobra Sun, and it's 1, 2, 3. And before he can do that, Lona has dove into the ring and kneed the guy in the head to break up the pin. You only get 1 pin, break up 2. After that, you're disqualified.
Oh, okay.
So she got her 1 save in to kind of break them up from losing. And Cobra Sun realizes that he's just kind of had his ass beat and he needs to, like, get the hot tag, which is the hot tag in wrestling terminology, if you want to know something, is when they'll spend a lot of time beating up on one guy.
Yeah.
And, like, he needs to go to tag his partner in, but it keeps looking like the odds are insurmountable. Like he just keeps getting beaten up. The hot tag is eventually where, yep, exactly. He's reaching out there to try to get the tag, and he dives with that last little bit of effort to tag the guy in. It's probably a spaceship.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Listen, can you hear the rumble, folks?
That is crazy.
It's Elon.
It is, and our whole building is rumbling
The
too up on the
whole building
21st
is
floor.
rumbling. Yeah. There's a lawsuit out for that because it apparently is breaking people's shit.
I get that. It rumbles pretty hard.
Yeah, pretty rough.
And so
Fucking
he is
Elon.
able to, that's her breaking up the tag there at the top. And as we see, he's able to make the hot tag to get Lona in. And man, does she come in like a firecracker. Because what happened when they did the finisher, and I will say that this helps Lona out, is the smaller brother was tagged in.
Okay.
So that is who she's beating up.
That does make sense.
It does.
And then at the end there, the guy with the spikes on his head.
He does say, yep.
But he looks like the Honky Tonk Kid.
Honky Tonk Kid?
You don't remember Honky Tonk Kid?
Honky Tonk Man?
Whatever. Same thing.
Well, a kid and a man's two different things.
Yeah, whatever.
One of them's a baby giraffe. So...
A Honky Tonk Kid?
Yeah.
Is a baby giraffe?
I think a baby giraffe is called a kid. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Or it's called a Jeffrey, probably.
It's not a Honky Tonk.
I'm just a honky tonk man.
I'm just a Honky Tonk J-Raff.
She ends up kind of taking over the match.
A big old flip off the turnbuckle
the
there.
art, like the way he's able to draw. Yeah, she hits a nice little moonsault off the top and gets
moonsault!
The 1, 2, 3 for the
ding,
pin.
Ding.
And they do beat Orangabang to advance.
Orangabang.
And there's a really nice moment of where, like, you're winners, and they raise Lona's hand, they get in. And Nexel comes in to check on Petey, and Petey's like, I let us down, Nexel. I'm sorry for losing. And Nexel's like, it's all right, brother. We did our best. And you see Lona like, I'm so sorry. Like, my mom, I have to get her back.
Yeah.
And there's a nice little moment of all three of them kind of in the ring there.
Yeah.
Like, it just shows you.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. It's a nice little sweet moment to show
they're all
the
fighting
heart
for the same thing, yeah.
Yeah. And then Cobra Sun says, I have to get her back.
And they can get along after they beat the shit out of each
Well,
other.
it goes to show you, like, there's two types of competitors in this tournament. We saw FISA, which is going to be a problem later on. Spoiler alert
you mean
there.
the guys who punch puppies? That's going to be a problem? Huh.
So what we then see to close out issue 3 is I can't remember this team's name. It was, the Knights of Rhine.
Okay.
Take Care of Pizza Party.
Okay.
Very viciously, right? I don't have it.
They're just like gladiators almost. But maybe even more like Roman soldiers, right?
Yes.
Plus like an enforcer.
Yes. Their special move is like King Arthur's table, and they do it, and what it does is like one of the guys, I don't know how to explain this for audio. I've left the panel out here, but one of the guys has him by the feet and lifts him up, and the other, as he jumps, takes his knees and kind of like pushes his head to it when he lands.
Right.
But they do it through a ghost table that's supposed to be King Arthur's table, so it kind of looks pretty badass.
I see.
If you want to go back in the comic and find it, you're going to have to do that. I'm not giving away all the art for this.
Yeah, good.
And so they defeat the Pizza Party, and they see that, all right, great work, Elric. Like, we're unstoppable. The other one's name is Torsten, so it's Elric and Torsten.
Torsten.
And it goes, looks like we have those earthlings next. They better steal their bones, for we are coming to break them.
Steal your bones.
And that is where we end issue 3 of Do a Powerbomb. And
this
we
is
will
cool.
pick up next week with the rest of the tournament and close out our story.
It's a cool series. Yeah. I like this.
No,
I
thought it was something different. I thought it was kind of out of the box. Also, I know we talked about the creative team. This is an Image book, so it's not even like a Marvel or DC comic.
Yeah.
We're focusing on something else a little bit there, looking at this Image title. But yeah, Daniel Warren Johnson, wrote this and illustrated, colors by Mike Spicer, and Rus Wooton for the letters, and it's just so great. There's also, I told you about the interview he gave. There's a beginning, the opening here, where he kind of the trade paperback, where he talks about like what gave him the idea for this. And he talks about how like their daughter back in like 2018, like couldn't sleep at night. Like she would, like, and he would be up late at night with her doing things.
Yeah.
And the TV, I think it was where, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he would talk about how he would watch things while she was there, or, like trying to soothe her and deal with her. And it was where he would find out, or he would find himself like catching glimpses of like wrestling and stuff and getting into that. And so he would watch it there with her, like New Japan Pro Wrestling, which this does have definite like a Japan kind of feel to it. But it's just, it's cool to get a glimpse behind that creative like aspect of it to see like what was going on in their mind where they're doing it. But there you
It
go.
feels very much like a Black Mirror episode or something.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Issues 1 through 3. We will tackle 4 through 7 next week to close it out.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.